Hello, geography fans, and in this video, we're going to be looking at part 3 of the Second U.S. Civil War. I'm surprised I've turned this into as long of a series as I have. Well, as a quick recap where the last episode left off, we had the conservative states. Well, I'm going to start from episode 1. In episode 1, we had the liberal states and we had the conservative states. The liberal states occupied a little bit of land, the conservative states occupied most of it. There's also the fascist states, which used to just span from Oklahoma to Arizona, I think. So that's where they were, but then they kind of got shifted over closer towards the west uh, after the Civil War, as these areas were highly conservative. So the fascists were forced to be pushed back all the way to the west coast. However, they were not able to be defeated, as well. If you know anything about the fascists in World War II, those guys would just not die. It was the same story here. Then episode 2 happened. In episode 2, it obviously wasn't just the fascist states and the conservative states duking it out. It would have been a repeat of the second half of the first video, where it was just a long, brutal stalemate, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. Instead, Texas, California, and the socialist states actually, came into existence. The socialist states, basically the liberal states in a nutshell. But now we are down to the top 3: the socialist states, Texas, and the Nazi states. Now, sometimes you'll hear me say fascist states for these guys. Sometimes you'll hear me say Nazi states. I know those two are different. I'm aware of that. It's just that, it's Hitler's fascism is what these guys are. So, yeah, basically Nazis. This, I'm not sure if this will be the final episode. It might be, it might not be. Stay tuned to find out, I guess. But also, we're going to have some stuff happen in this video because, once again, there's no way it's just going to be these three duking it out. That would be pretty boring. We're going to have 2 more sides being introduced. Alright, I know some of you guys want to have a seizure right now because, yeah, this is pretty bad. But yes, we do have a pretty different map here. As you can see, there are now 5 sides in the Civil War. However, more worryingly, the socialist states are actually divided in half. Well, I mean, kind of. They can cross over into Wisconsin from Michigan like that, but, from here they're cut in half. And these are the sides. So you're going to notice a few that are weird. You're kind of like, where's the Nazi states? Well, basically, like I said, those fascist states that were in the black, these guys, that was Hitler's fascism. And, well, people started to, come to their senses and realize that this whole Nazism stuff just wasn't working for them. And, they wanted to change. So instead of just making their, a different faction, well, they still made a different faction, but, they didn't, break away from this. They just had a government reform into nationalist states, which honestly isn't much better. Texas remains Texas. Socialist states are still here. And now we have this red, which is the fascist states. But this is not like Hitler's fascism. This is more of like Mussolini's fascism. And then we have the anarchist states. I don't even know if I spelled anarchist right, but we're rolling with it. So the anarchist states, I only really added these because, some dude in my comments of the first video, I think, suggested that I add in anarchist states. And, I just remembered what I was going to do. As if things were bad enough for the socialist states, we now have the formation of a 6th faction. Yes, there's going to be 6 factions in this Civil War. We have the nationalist states, Texas, the socialist states, the fascist states, the anarchist states, and now the communist states. Now, the communist states, that was kind of something I decided to do. I decided to save it for the finale. I was going to do it in episode 2, but I decided, might as well wait to the finale. It'll be, kind of be more appropriate to do it for the finale. Anarchist states, some dude commented on my video saying that I should include the anarchist states, so I thought, why not? And that does confirm some of y'all guys' suspicions. I do read my comments, and I do reply to a fair bit of them as well. So, yeah, if you have anything to say, just feel free to leave a comment, because I will most likely see your comment, and I might even reply to your comment, depending on what it is. But honestly, I've been rambling way too long. Let's let the show begin. The nationalist states have been eliminated. The communist states have been eliminated. The socialist states have been eliminated. Texas has been eliminated. And now the war has evolved into a stalemate, with the last two remaining states being the fascist states and the anarchist states. And as we can see, they basically split the country completely in half. The anarchist states in the west and the fascist states in the east. In the finale, coming later this week, I guess, the finale will simply be a all-out showdown between the fascist states and the anarchist states. And also with a little additive of a special surprise, but you'll have to wait till the finale to see what that is. Let's look at Peace Treaty. Literally, what else did you expect? But before we conclude this episode, some states are going to have to make their exit. This is the states map without borders, and as you can see, we're missing a few states. We're missing Alaska, Hawaii, and Maine. Global warming happened to Hawaii. Maine got Canadaized. Alaska also got that Canada treatment. It's just because all of those states that I just mentioned, except for Hawaii because they got taken out to natural causes, were sick of war. This country has had so many civil wars in this timeline that those states simply got sick of it and wanted to become part of a different country entirely. Hence why they made the shift over to Canada. The finale will drop later this week. Be prepared for it, 'cause it's gonna be a crazy one.